is often the last resort in terribly violent situations. But it's not just, I'm not just trying to do logic chopping. We get this idea that violence never solved anything largely from Gandhi. A little bit from Thoreau, a little bit from Jesus, obviously, but Jesus commanded his followers to carry swords. So let's not get crazy about that. It was Gandhi who really put this thing forward. And it's worth pointing out that the reason he talked about nonviolence and all that is because he thought it would work. He always said that he understood that it would work against the British. Whatever you think about British imperialism and a lot of bad things that went with it and all the rest, at the end of the day, the British have fairly decent, rightly formed consciences, and they're open to moral suasion. And that's why it worked. It's quite telling that he never told the Nazis violence never solved. Right? He told the British, and then lead up to World War II, that what they should do is is surrender to the Nazis. He said, give up your homes, give up your beautiful island, and keep your principles. His advice to the Jews of Nazi Germany was, commit mass suicide, because that'll really show them. And he was asked about this after the war, and he never retracted about it. Now, my last name being Goldberg, you might realize I don't think this is the most efficacious public policy proposal. But when you come down on issues of war and peace and law and crime and all of the rest, the fact is that when people say violence never solved anything, they are trying to advance a really ideological argument without being open and honest about the ideological argument that they're making. They're trying to steal bases without actually putting forward arguments in the process. Joe Biden, during the argument about gun control, he said a lot of things. He says a lot. Give him time, he'll just start shouting, get these schools off of him. Joe Biden said about gun control, if it saves just one life, it's worth it, right? Now, if you've read Tom Sowell, you know this is crazy talk. This is not how you do public policy. If a law is justified by saving a single life, then the speed limit has to be 5 miles an hour. Right? We all have to walk around with bike helmets and giant sumo suits, right? It's an absolutely terrible, horrible thing, and I'm not trying to make light of it or anything like that, but OSHA reports, and it's an absolute fact, that somewhere between a half dozen and a dozen little kids, toddlers, drown every year in buckets in their backyards. It's a terrible thing. As a father, it horrifies me. At the same time, I would not argue that therefore we must have a mandated federal policy of putting holes in all buckets. Because at the end of it, you just can't live life that way,